Welcome
I get
back
paid
to
weekly, and
Motive for
sometimes I don't
Money.
even make it
In
paycheck to
today's
paycheck.
video,
My
we're
rent
diving
is
into some pressing
18.95. Then you got
financial
my
topics
utilities, and
that
you got
affect many of
my
us.
car note, and you
We'll
got my
explore
daycare. I spend
budgeting tips to help you make the most of your
$1,600 a
income,
month on daycare.
hear from
When
a
I add up
single
my
mom
rent, my
sharing her
water, my
financial
electric,
struggles,
my phone bill,
and
my
discuss
car
why
note,
Americans are cutting
and my
back on
daycare, I
spending.
spend over
We'll also take a
$4,200 a
closer
month
look
just
at
on
the
those items.
reality of
Notice how I
American
didn't mention
poverty
groceries
and
or
how the
gas to
current
get to work.
economy
Notice how
is
I didn't mention
shaping
school
political
supplies
views.
or
Let's dive in.
mention I get paid weekly, and sometimes I don't even make it paycheck to paycheck. My rent is $18.95. Then you got my utilities, and you got my car note, and you got my daycare. I spend $1,600 a month on daycare. When I add up my rent, my water, my electric, my phone bill, my car note, and my daycare, I spend over $4,200 a month just on those items. Notice how I didn't mention groceries or gas to get to work. Notice how I didn't mention school supplies or mention clothes for my growing children, because I have 3 children under the age of 8. And I swear to God, my 8-year-old, I just bought her a whole bunch of clothes and they already don't fit her. Literally bought them like 2 months ago. My kids eat on average $300 to $400 worth in groceries, which is only about 30 items from the grocery store. And as much as I hate to admit it, we've had to resource to a lot of frozen food, canned food, and processed food that's not healthy for any of us, but I can't afford the fresh fruit and the yogurts and the fresh meats and all of that fun stuff. I recently applied for food stamps and I was denied. I was told I make too much money. When I looked it up, for a family of 4 in the state of Tennessee, if you make more than $3,006 a month, you're just living the dream. $3,000. I just told you my rent is $18.95 and my rent or my daycare is $1,600. But $3,000 is more than enough to live. You should be doing better. What are you doing with your money, Catherine? I don't even want to get onto the agenda of the fact that in America, at least, I can't speak for other countries, their agenda has literally been to separate the families. If you look back throughout the years, it has just constantly been, okay, well, we're going to give you food stamps because you're a single mom. We're going to give you cash assistance. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you more taxes. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to throw money at you. More so if you're a single parent, so that the families that were together were stressed out and they were fighting all the time because they were always stressed out over money. We're not going to get on that topic. But it's a joke. I make a good amount of money if you go back like 3-4 years ago. I was living the dream off of what I was making then, and I was making a lot less. I used to be able to survive with 3 children and $40,000 income. Not anymore. I make way more than $40,000 a year, and I still can't fucking afford my family. I've done everything right. I've worked my ass off. I have worked my ass off. I've made a good name for myself in the industry that I do. And I make a pretty penny, but it's not enough to survive. Not even barely. That's the problem with America. We're allowing them to tear us apart and fight against gender and racism while they watch us starve to death on the streets.
Economists are panicking that now, unsurprisingly, consumers are pulling back on their spending. From March to April, consumer spending in the United States was virtually flat. It didn't really go up at all. Now, because consumer spending forms the backbone of the American economy, it has people starting to worry. But how is this a surprise? Remember, interest rates are sky high, and so is consumer credit card debt. Let's not forget that credit card interest rates are at an all-time high here in the United States. And we've also been seeing consumers start to default on their credit card bills at a high rate. That's why I've been warning for the last few months that American consumers clearly are maxed out. And this can't be any more obvious when you see how people are refusing to go out to eat now because it's just too expensive. So as far as the JP Morgan CEO's comments that the economy is booming, not US consumer spending. And the reality is that unless interest rates go down or wage growth miraculously boosts.
The clips presented so far shed light on the harsh realities many people face in today's economy. A single mom of 3 who doesn't qualify for food stamps despite her significant expenses, $1,800 for rent and $1,600 for childcare each month. Though she earns well within her industry, she reflects on how she was financially better off a few years ago, making $40,000 per year. She also touches on the broader societal issue of division along gender and racial lines while many are struggling just to survive. This clip underscores the importance of advocating for fair wages, affordable childcare, and policies that support working families. In the next clip, a man highlights an article reporting that consumers have stopped spending money due to high costs. He notes that Americans are refusing to go out to eat and are defaulting on credit card debt at alarming rates. Despite reports of a booming economy, consumer behavior tells a different story. This illustrates the growing disconnect between economic indicators and the lived experiences of everyday people. It's a reminder to be mindful of our spending, prioritize saving where possible, and advocate for economic policies that genuinely benefit the broader population. Let's move on to our next clips.
Are you living in poverty in 2024? Are you sure about that? How do you know? Well, the new federal poverty line numbers were just released, and it is coming in a little over $15,000 a year in 2024 for a household of one, which translates into a little bit over $1,200 a month is what the federal poverty line is. So if your income is below that, then technically you're below the federal poverty line. But again, don't worry, you are certainly not alone. Over 40 million people right now in the United States are currently living in poverty, which
This is why I feel like the cost of living has never been as bad as it is right now. Because it used to be when the cost of living was high, it was for the things that you need in life. Food, gas, shelter, etc. All of those things cost a lot of money. Right now, all of those things still cost a lot of money. And also, I feel like it's just expensive to just be alive. Like, I feel like my life as soon as I wake up is literally just me putting down a credit card, and it's just a tab. And life is a bartender. And it's just like, what are you going to have? And I'm just like, I'm okay. I don't really need anything today. And it's just like, oh, really? Well, if you're going to be here, you're going to need to spend money. And I'm just like, what do you mean here? I'm just in the world. And it's just like, yeah, you have to buy something now. It's even getting to the point where, like, I feel like even my thoughts are getting expensive, you know? Like I could just have the thought of like, my nose is a little stuffy. And then all of a sudden, I open up my phone 10 minutes later and have 12 ads for like, oh, you have a pollen allergy and you got to buy these anti-pollen allergy pills or you're going to suffocate in your sleep. Sleep is the only place I still feel kind of safe. But even there, it's like I could have sleep problems for one night and then I wake up feeling kind of groggy and all of a sudden I'm getting targeted ads for melatonin gummies. It's like all of our necessities are still expensive, and then
The
also
clips presented highlight the stark realities of poverty and the constant financial strain many Americans face. In one clip, a man reports that a household income of $15,000 per year for a single person is considered below the poverty line. He emphasizes the gravity of the situation by pointing out that 40 million Americans are living in poverty. This statistic underscores the urgent need for systemic changes to address income inequality, provide adequate social safety nets, and create opportunities for upward mobility. In another clip, a man humorously expresses his frustration with the high cost of living. He acknowledges that necessities require money but feels that simply existing leads to constant spending. He jokes about retargeting ads following him around the internet, making it seem like even his thoughts and sleep are monetized. This clip sheds light on the pervasive feeling of financial pressure many experience, exacerbated by a consumer-driven culture that constantly encourages spending. These reflections remind us of the importance of budgeting, finding ways to cut unnecessary expenses, and advocating for policies that support financial stability and equity. Let's move on to our next clips.
Whose political views have changed since we now live in our current times and life has never been more expensive? Has anybody's views changed? Has anybody's political parties changed? What, if anything, has changed for you? Please let me know in the comments. I am interested to hear, for sure. I will say in my entire 40 years of being alive, I have never seen so many people struggling. I've never seen just so many families that have two working adults and just cannot even pay their bills. I cannot believe it's literally over $30 to DoorDash lunch for one person. That's insane. That is truly insane. And that's with your delivery being free. What's even happening?
Well, guys, experts are saying America is right around the corner from almost being a third world country. They're saying major crash for U.S. economy has begun. Experts say they're saying that the American dollar is about to be valued to zero. And Bitcoin, they're doing a meeting now, whereas they're trying to see if they're going to do digital or if they're going to let the bricks take over. So America right now is in the deep mud. They say the economy is in the dirt. The dirt is sinking down like quicksand. They said you can't raise the debt now one more time. They said it's over. It's done. They said we going down. This getting really scary. But they said if you got a little bit of money, go ahead invest in gold and start putting your money in Bitcoin. Because they saying it's right around the corner. The storm is coming to America as far as the finances. So it's your boy.
The clips presented so far continue to delve into the impact of the current economic climate on individuals and their perspectives. In one clip, a woman shares that her political views have shifted due to the economic challenges in America. She emphasizes the high cost of living by pointing out that ordering lunch through DoorDash costs $30 for just one person. This highlights how the rising costs of goods and services are forcing many to rethink their financial decisions and even their political beliefs. In another clip, a man discusses an article from Bricks about the American dollar. He warns that the buying power of the American dollar is expected to plummet, potentially rendering it nearly worthless. This prediction underscores the importance of staying informed about global economic trends and considering how such changes might affect personal finances. These reflections remind us of the need to adapt to changing economic conditions, whether by adjusting our spending habits, exploring alternative income sources, or advocating for economic policies that support financial stability. It's crucial to stay proactive and informed to navigate these challenging times.
It's hard for you to budget. You can't stick to it. Don't worry about it. Let me tell you why. So, when you get paid, right, you automatically know if you're an adult and have bills that once your paycheck hit, this bill's getting paid, this is getting paid, this is getting paid, right? That money that you have left over has no assignment to it. You have not assigned those dollars to do anything for you. So that's why it's really, really hard for you to stick to your budget. Because people think budgeting is just writing out your bills. It's not. Okay, you have those bills. You probably had them for some months now. You know how much your bills cost. But what about that surplus money? What about that money that you have left over after the bills are paid? That's where the issue really comes in. That's the money you don't see. And it's all because you didn't assign those dollars to have a job. You need to assign those dollar bills to something. Now, I didn't mean to get in your face like that, but that's the issue. That's why you can't stick to your budget that you write out every time, is because you're not assigning that extra money to something. So, for example, you know you need to save 6 months of your emergency funds, right? So make sure after you pay your bills, $100 is going to your savings. And that's
In the final clip, a woman shares a crucial budgeting tip: assigning a specific job to the money you have left after paying bills. She emphasizes the importance of this strategy by using the example of allocating $100 from each paycheck to an emergency fund. This approach helps maintain financial discipline and ensures that leftover money is used purposefully rather than being spent impulsively. Her advice highlights the significance of proactive financial planning. By designating specific purposes for your extra funds, you can better prepare for unexpected expenses and build a safety net, ultimately supporting long-term financial stability. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What steps are you taking to manage your finances in these challenging times? How are you budgeting, saving, or finding new income sources? Your insights could be featured in future videos. Don't forget to visit motiveformoney.com for more resources and tips on financial management. Stay informed, stay proactive, and let's navigate this economic landscape together. Until next time.